anything stand out in sports right now? How are you thinking about sports? What are we going to see from, when is it coming back? What's some of your hot takes and understandings?
You know, there's some people out there, whether it's business or sports teams, that love debt or are in those teams could be in some trouble.
You got your perspective. I just want to be happy. Don't you want to be happy? What blows me away about you is not only are you an actual Hall of Fame athlete, which is such rarefied air, but as I've gotten to know you over the last 3 or 4 years, your ambition and entrepreneurial savvy is going to put you eventually in the Entrepreneurial Hall of Fame. I don't like co-signing people because I don't like being wrong, but I've been blown away by your tenacity and humility coming off the platform you've come from and jumping in. Right off the bat, what are you leaning into as an entrepreneur during this period that we're all dealing with? What's manifested in these last 75 days from a personality trait?
Yeah, look, Gary, thank you for welcoming me. Happy to be here. One of the things that I'm looking at, since we have this will be a sprint, not a marathon, I'll talk in small bites, but the bottom line is Joe Torre, my New York Yankee manager, taught me, Alex, when you have a rain delay, those that go in the back room and eat burgers and pizzas and fries end up like zeros. You stay prepared, keep your jersey on, get on the bike, stay warm, keep your mind in the game. And then when you go out there, you're going to close like a champion. I am looking at this COVID-19 as a rain delay. The game's not over. We will continue. And whoever's best prepped in this time will win later. So I'm preparing for later, and I'm positioning my company to be in a better position than we were before.
How do you translate that energy as somebody who's lived it, is in that mindset, to your direct reports and the individuals in your ecosystem who, let's just shoot it straight, may not have the financial, stability that you have, to invest mentally in the long term? How do you impose that on somebody who might be making, $70K a year or $200K a year, but has expenses? Like, that's been a big thought of mine. Have you been thinking about that?
Well, I've done two things, and we have teams all over the place. We have a big team in New York, big team in LA, and obviously here in South Florida. We have not cut one person. We haven't cut 1% of one salary. And the reason why, even though it's justified in this moment to do that, because obviously the income and the revenue is not the same, I wanted to make sure that at the darkest moment, A-Rod Corp shined and we were there for them. And that's one of the great advantages, I believe, in working in a company like ours. We really think about our team first. And so that's one. Number two, my West Coast team, they go to sleep to my emails. They wake up to my emails. And I'm up before them in the West Coast, and I'm usually sleep after them. So it's being active, is never sleeping, and is really just being all in, leaning into it.
What have you observed from others? Who or what corp, what organization, government, business, human being? Give me a hot take on 2 to 4, 3 things that have stood out for you, things you've seen out in the zeitgeist from other leaders. Anything catch A-Rod? Okay.
Yeah, Anheuser-Busch is one because they're a big conglomerate, right? Like Google or Disney or ABC, they're ABI, and they're gritty. They really, really care about the bottom line. They don't turn the ball over like we say in sports. They really stay in their lane. They think outside the box. And those are things with my partnership with Presidente that I've really enjoyed watching them.
Was that a pleasant surprise for you, right? You're doing this big partnership with them on this beer, which I'm fired up about. And Marcel, who's coming on next. We're always open to work on this brand. I know we work with Budweiser and others, but we'll talk about that next. But was that obviously, Marcel's in the waiting room. He's coming on next. So you need to be politically correct. I respect that. And I mean this because I want this to be a transparent day. But was it nice to see such a big company? And listen, I want everybody who's watching, ABI, this is common knowledge. Like, they're a big player in China. They got hit there early first. It's not like they're unbelievable. These are real business challenges, and yet still showing you humanity, even though when they're having business challenges. For you, did that kind of catch you off guard? Were you just pleasantly surprised? Did you expect that because you like the way you've been onboarding with them? What happened there?
Well, usually I just loved how quickly they're able to move. I mean, usually you don't see a cruise ship move like a speedboat, and that's exactly what they did when we announced in Houston our partnership. Jennifer and I came onto stage. There was about 3,000 or so customers of ABI, and literally I got an email 4 days later. They're saying, "Hey, we've decided to do a Super Bowl commercial." And I said, "Well, how can that be? The Super Bowl is like in 10 days." And they said, "We're doing it." It went, and it was a huge success, and really, really excited to see a company that big be that nimble.
Alex, what about what's going on in the sports business world? Obviously, we've got a lot of CMOs on the back, so I want to fill out this program. Anything stand out in sports right now? How are you thinking about sports? What are we going to see from, when is it coming back? What's some of your hot takes and understandings?
You know, there's some people out there, whether it's business or sports teams, that love debt or are in those teams could be in some trouble because the loss of revenues are going to be massive, more than people can even imagine, and they'll trickle down to 21 and 22. What's interesting is some businesses like Michael Rapino over at Live Nation, one of the best CEOs around. More than 90% of the people have not wanted a refund. So that's great news for Live Nation. Great news for Michael Rapino.
Is that the number that's being thrown around?
90% have kept, and which tells you people love live experiences. They're going to feel good. This is their comfort food.
Oh, they can't wait.
They're not giving up that ticket to Bon Jovi or Beyonce or Jay-Z or J-Lo, whoever it is. That number, Gary, stood out to me. 90% kept their tickets. Impressive.
Social, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. What has the A-Rod and family clan, you as an individual, as a content creator? I've been seeing some pretty epic TikToks from you and Jen and the fam. Like, what's your observations there? Anything catching your mind? Anything you're personally hot on, or people around you?
Yeah, some really embarrassing ones too on the TikTok front. We've had a lot of fun and gotten really creative here, which is hard for me, but we continue. One of the things I've learned from you is using every platform. Don't just be biased to one. Use each platform. I got to get better at using each platform a little bit differently. It's hard, but Nadeem, who loves you, he's always around me, and he does a great job with Jason and Ashley and our digital team. But once talking to you and Andrea, one of the things that I did, even with Reed, is I tripled down on my team. When I first met you, I had 0. Now we have 6 or 7 in our team. And then Jennifer's getting into it too, and her content's getting better. And she's a content machine. So we're being aggressive. We're still trying to be sensitive to the times, but somehow bringing value to those people at home, because right now is a time where champions are built.
Segueing a little bit to give you a little bit of the floor, what are you excited about? What are you hoping in the next 6 months to a year the world knows about you or what you're up to? You know, you've got a real mass amount of people watching this right now. Like, what are you looking for them to know about, the masses?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, we have, we do 2 things at A-Rod Corp. We do a real estate, which we're fully integrated. We've been doing it for 20 years. We have around 8,000 apartments all over the Southeast. And we've done really, really good things there. On the PE and venture side, we're owners of about 20 to 25 companies. And it's interesting, you know, they've been kind of broken into thirds. A third are doing really bad. A third are kind of floating, and a third have never done better. And it's just been really interesting to work with our founders, our boards, and really, really be involved. One of the most exciting partnerships that I've ever done, and probably you can't say that about your kids, but Presidente is probably #1 because it's from Dominican Republic. It was founded in 1935. And it's such an organic marriage. The day I signed, you called me, you congratulated me right away. Said, this is a winner. How can I help?
I'm a big fan when things are just blatantly obvious, right? And so to me, I think a lot of people do brand deals and partnerships and business deals where they're just chasing money. Mm-hmm. And that deal, given, I mean, that was literally one of my favorites. Obviously, I knew both parties, didn't know about the deal, but knew both parties. So it just made a ton of sense. Alex, what about the way you're thinking about influencer collaborations. One of the things that I thought was super interesting about you early on was when you kind of made this switch to this, you know, you reached out to me. I watched you do other things with others. Like, how do you think about, one thing I'm completely fascinated with right now, I saw Spencer X do something with Alicia Keys. Spencer X, for everybody who doesn't know, is a TikTok influencer who's one of the top 10 on the platform, though I know 98% of people, when I just said that, don't know who that is. I think you're extremely savvy with attention and culture. You know, you're busy, back to content creation, but how much, you did the Barstool podcast, JB, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you've been very clever on collabs, like a music artist that's trying to get into other genres. Has that been on purpose? Have you seen that? Is that something you want to do more of? Where do you sit with thoughtful collaborations where audience exchange is happening?
Yeah, I mean, whether it's Charlie from TikTok or whether it's Ed Milet or is you and I doing something, but it's really tapping into a different set of people that are not in my everyday life. I mean, I'm in baseball 24/7. So the 58, 59-year-old white male is going to know
who you are.
Well, right? And that fan is going to follow me to CNBC. And again, very 1%. So when I thought about Barstool, I thought about my daughter's generation, the college generation. When I walk in colleges today, they'll tell me, oh my God, the Kobe Bryant podcast, the Garyvee podcast. They don't tell me about the World Series. They don't tell me about home runs. They know me as a business person, entrepreneur, who is talking to them and is educating them with some good nuggets through their podcast. It's a powerful thing.
Final question. Maybe I'll get one more in, but if I don't get this one in, I'm going to be devastated. Alex, I believe that your SP rookie card, perfectly graded, is one of the most underpriced assets in the world right now. Much like real estate, sports cards have been grossly underpriced. You know, I've been yelling about it for a year. Now it's going mainstream. The Journal, the Atlantic, everyone's writing about it. Yes or no, are you planning on buying every one of your own rookie cards because it might be a bigger financial win than even all these incredible business ventures you're in?
I would love to buy it, and if you can broker that,
I'm on it
together. I'm on
it, bro. I'm telling you, it's super underpriced. I mean, I view you winning culture over the next 50 years, and I think it's just going to keep going up. So you need to get on that. Any parting shots, since I think I got one more minute?
Yeah, no, I just want to say thank you for having me. I just want to encourage everybody out there. These are tough times, no question about it. But just like I would tell my Yankee teammates, stay ready, stay prepared, stay physically fit, and when in doubt, attack.
What's your Twitter handle? Because I see everybody, hashtag marketing for the now. I see all of you. I'm sharing it. We're going to blow up Twitter in these 2 hours.
A-Rod.
As it should be. A-Rod, thank you so much, brother. Stay healthy. Say hi to Jen. I'll talk to you soon.
You got it.
All right, bro. Hey, everybody on YouTube. First of all, thank you so much. So humbled for your time. I don't want to watch, but time is the biggest asset. So thank you for watching that video. If you got some value out of that, there's plenty more where that came from. Feel free to check it out.